If you think you're not alone, you better think again and prepare. It's a cold day out here in New Jersey. I'm out in the Pine Barrens. Nugget, my dog, wanted to go for a walk, so here we are. And as a result, you're going to get some cold, hard truths from me. If you think you're not alone and your family's going to be there to take care of you, your spouse has got things all settled down, and maybe you've got kids, you think they're going to be there for you when you get older if your health starts to fail, let me tell you, think again. You don't have to go around being paranoid or worried, but you do need to be prepared. You need to think as an individual and treat life like you may be on your own someday. Because over 50, as we get older, all kinds of things change. I've seen it. Everybody else out there has seen it too. We've all got stories. Share some of yours down in the comments. Help people out. How many of us know people that don't really pay attention to their finances? A lot of times it's the women that are not paying as much attention to the finances, especially with older generations. Next thing you know, spouse dies and they don't know what to do. They don't even know where the money's been coming from. They don't have a clue. They're totally unprepared. Don't let that happen to you. You need to know what's going on. I've seen people caught totally off guard. One of my good friends was my English professor from when I was in college, and we remained friends for many years. She got into her 60s. Her husband, they didn't have any kids. Her husband, who was a psychologist, one morning just told her, "I don't love you anymore." Turns out he was having an affair with his office manager, the one that he claimed not to really care for and didn't really like. Yeah, well, they went off happily ever after, and she was left divorced in her 60s. She didn't see it coming. It affected her mental health and her whole life. Eventually, she got it together and was happy, but she'd been with this guy for decades, didn't see that one coming. How many of us know of situations like that? I live in a 55 and older community. I can't tell you how many times I see somebody, their spouse passes away, and this happens to both men and women. Sometimes the men, they don't know how to cook. The women, they don't know about the finances. You've got to be prepared. You need to know where the money's coming from, all of it. Know how to do your banking. Know whose name the life insurance policies are in. I worked for Prudential Life Insurance when I was younger. I used to answer the phone about the claims. I can't tell you how many times I took a call from somebody wanting to file a claim, and I had to tell them, "I'm sorry, the policy's lapsed." Yeah, you don't want to have to be the one to do that, but worse, you don't want to be the one who lost their spouse only to find out the insurance policy has lapsed. And at that point, let me tell you, absolutely nothing you can do about it. You're out of luck. You need to be informed. You need to pay attention to all aspects of your life. You don't know when you may end up alone and single. You think you have friends and family that you're going to count on when you get older, the kids. No, living in 55 and older, I can't tell you how many people in their 80s and older, they're totally alone. Those kids are not coming around. Life changes. You may think your relationships are great. Next thing you know, your adult kid is going through divorce or, God forbid, has a grandchild with an addiction problem and they're all wrapped up in that situation. All kinds of things happen. Futures have a way of falling down in mid-flight. Be prepared. Don't get caught off guard. Have these talks with your family and your spouse. When we're younger, our parents needed to have the talk with us about the birds and the bees, right? We're older now. You need to have real conversations with your spouse, partner, whoever you're living with and depending on. You need to know all the facts, full disclosure, what's going on with everything. You need to know about any insurance policies, what kind of bills you truly have, what the bank account looks like. You need to know how to access everything. You don't need to walk around like a psycho, not trusting and being scared. That's not what we're saying here. What I'm saying is, do not be foolish. We're all adults, over 50, anything can happen. People get sick, relationships change. Sometimes we find out people aren't who we thought they were. Be prepared about everything. I've got a video about a neighbor who left her husband They're in their 80s. She probably should have left them decades ago. She didn't, but now in their 80s, they're both having to start over again, and I guarantee you neither one of them was fully prepared. They're doing it, but why make it harder? As for those kids you think that are going to be there for you when you get older, maybe. I hope so. I hope and pray for you. But many times, no, they're not around. They're older. They've got their own problems, their own worries, their own families they're taking care of. Heck, they may even be looking to you. Which brings me to, I can't tell you again how many times I've seen the kids sort of neglect the parents as they get older. Also, being sort of on top of things when they think there's some money there that they may want to access sooner. Next thing you know, mom or dad's not doing too well and needs to be in a care facility. I've seen it happen. It's no joke. Don't let this kind of thing happen to you. Keep your stuff in order. Don't be dependent on the kids too much. If they're there for you, that is awesome. You are blessed. Count your blessings. But go about life not looking to depend on these people. They may or may not be there. But if not, be prepared. Have your own affairs in order. You know what? Make sure you have a relationship with an attorney. Don't fall for any of this nonsense. I don't care if you're 95. I've seen people put in a facility, their finances taken over. Next thing you know, the son is out there buying a new $500,000 motorhome for himself, and mom is sitting in some facility languishing and dies a couple months later. What is up with that? Those kind of things make me glad I don't have kids. Nobody's going to be tossing me in a home. You know, we create these fantasies that kids are going to take care of us and nurture us. They're not our nurses, and there's a good chance nobody's going to be around when you're older. You know, sometimes I think we're all alone. And another thing, this is for the people out there that are in their happy relationships and don't really socialize with us single, living alone people too much. We're your best friends when you do find yourself alone, when the spouse has passed away or left you for someone younger, or the kids are paying you no mind, or God forbid trying to toss you in a home. We're the ones who know how to be independent. We're tough. We've been doing it for a long time. We've got a lot of good tips on how to deal with things, and we're generally prepared. We got your back. We're available. We're not busy wrapped up in our spouse's problems. We're not busy with kids, grandkids, whatever. We're available. We're your best friend and your resource when you need it. If you're not single, make sure you've got some single friends. So the takeaway here is, don't be a fool. If you're over 50, make it a goal to be more independent, know exactly what's going on with your finances, know how to run the household, have a plan B. If you don't think you can live in that same lifestyle and household without your partner or spouse or some help from the kids, make a plan to have a living situation for yourself, a plan B that you can do all on your own as an individual. It's vitally important to live your best life, to be healthy, and to survive and thrive. You need to function and have a mindset as if you're an independent individual. Everything else is just icing on the cake. And they may or may not be there. Life changes a lot for everyone as we get over 50. Health problems, relationship changes, career changes, financial changes. You take care of you, worry about yourself, and have everything in order. Don't get caught off guard. Check out my other video on how to not worry so much. We all do, but I've got some great tips on how to deal with it. Have a wonderful day.